Hello, and welcome to Bendy Presents, the movie Test of Time, a podcast about revisiting our youth through the only medium that matters, the movies. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your transformative, hairy hosts. Joining me, as always, is our other transformative and hairy host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I am very hairy.
Hey,
I you
every
know,
human's hairy, all right?
it's true. It's true. And you only get hairier as you get older.
It's so true.
So we have that to look forward to.
It's so true.
Um, I had a birthday.
Yep. Guess
I
we
turned 40.
forgot.
And he was just like, was it your birthday? And I was like,
Yeah.
damn it, yes, it was. And I was going to surprise you with it on the pod, and you were going to feel bad.
I would feel bad
You,
anyway.
it's fine. You still have to make up for the present last year, which I've never
True.
forgiven you for. So everyone was sick, and then everyone, yeah, got the sickness, and I got the sickness,
Mhm.
and lost my voice for the first
Mhm.
time ever in my whole life. I was just like, what the hell is going on? And then I was like, I called the doctor and they were like, don't like I didn't did you know laryngitis attacks the vocal cords?
I don't think I did know that.
It does. So it's like you can't talk. So I was like, I had my computer, Mike's out of town, of course.
Mhm.
Um, had my computer and I'm like typing out like things I need the kids to do and then like tapping at them and clapping and like I kind of had my own silent retreat, but I was still like dealing with people. And like I I I talked to the kids and I was like, was it more peaceful when I wasn't talking? Because it felt more peaceful to me. Like, even like the dog knew I was running her a bath, and normally I'm like, come on, get in here.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
she gets scared, but she like because I wasn't saying anything and she knew what was happening, I could turn around and she's just like sitting behind me, like waiting for death, waiting for me to put her in the
Love it.
bathtub and drown her, she
Yeah.
volunteered. So it's just
No.
interesting, right? Right. It was just interesting to like not be able to talk and still having to like communicate with people and um yeah. And then Harper possibly broke her thumb,
Hmm.
and Charles has a swollen face, and I don't know why. So
Yeah.
it kind of just, yeah, it's just like I don't even know. Like half of his jaw is like twice the size of the other side of his. So
Uh,
it's like I looked at him and I was like, your face is fucked up.
yeah. I yeah, so like it's just it is I think we've been messaging on and off. I think it's just been a calamitous couple
Yep,
of weeks for both of us,
it
really.
has. Tell your crack.
Yeah, so first of all, I needed just to go back to the hairiness of it all and talking about how we have to look forward to that in our old age. I have
Ugh.
already bought a nose hair and ear hair
Ooh.
trimmer. Just preparing. I mean, like I already do
Yeah.
need to use it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
I tweeze
Um,
my nose hairs, which I don't
yeah.
recommend because the sneezes that accompany that are so
Oh, what
these
did you say?
pigeons.
Oh, okay.
They're white.
Interesting.
Huh, sorry.
Um,
Birds.
so
Yes.
um, I so
Speaking of
to
old age.
yeah, so like yeah, and I just also realized, for those of you listening at home, that I already knew this that information that Beth was telling you. So whenever I laughed there, I was like, oh, that sounds extremely callous. But I was just reacting to the ridiculousness of it all.
Mm.
Um, I'm obviously very worried about everybody concerned. Um,
So nice.
right? I am. Anyway, so. Since we last saw each other, as well, I have, well, basically on a weekend there, not the last weekend, but the weekend before that, we actually had to skip a recording week just because of this. I got diagnosed with shingles. Beth immediately responded by asking me if I was an 80-year-old grandmother. It's a,
It's just like the first thing that popped into my
it's an
head.
appropriate
I'm
response.
like, that my mom got that,
Yeah,
right?
and which is no fun. And so I had to deal with that. Then I woke up the next
Tell
day.
people what shingles is.
Okay. So shingles is, and like this has been a journey of discovery for me because I'd heard of shingles and I thought it's such a ridiculous name, right? It really sounds like a creature in like a fantasy realm or something like that. It doesn't quite sound like
Yeah.
a disease. And if it does, it doesn't sound like anything too serious.
No. It sounds like the folk people named it,
It
not the
does. It
doctors.
does. It does.
Yeah.
You've got the shingles, or it's
You
like
got the
A
shingles.
Stephen King horror
Yeah. Yeah.
a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the
You get
gangrene.
the
Like
shingles.
what?
Boy. So it's essentially the same virus as chickenpox. So if you have chickenpox as a kid, which is say most of our listeners who are of a similar age to us probably had that as a kid. It stays in your body. It doesn't ever fully leave. It just kind of burrows in there and it can spring up again in old age as shingles, essentially. Brought on by your immune
Stress.
system being low or stress or actually having other ailments as well.
So being an adult.
Yes, being an adult, being an old adult especially. Um, so really, I mean, like I'd say before I saw the rash, I had a week of feeling like somebody had punched me in the ribs, which was not fun. And then as I just looked and I saw this rash, it was basically they can appear all over the place, and I know the most dangerous place they can appear is on your face because if it gets really bad, they can affect your eyesight and things like that. I
Holy shit.
fortunately had them around my rib cage and on my spine, and got them dealt with quickly enough. I got some antiviral medication. First, like, on the day that I saw the rash, I got some antiviral medication,
He means
and
tequila because that's a natural
yeah. I just poured it on
antiviral.
myself. It's like if anybody knows what a bacta tank is in Star Wars, I just inserted myself into a friggin' clear tub of tequila. Anyway, so and it's mostly gone now, which I was grateful
Yeah.
for. But it really kind of has kicked my ass, and my energy levels were all over the map. And I think even before being officially diagnosed with it, then so I had that. That was a Friday. I woke up the next morning and my dog couldn't walk, and I was like, "Oh no, this is a fucking nightmare." And spent that day very upset because she couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. I had to like bring water over to her. I had to bring food. Like, the one plus sign was that she had her appetite. I was able to bring food over to her and she ate. I mean,
Good.
I don't think that dog will ever lose her appetite.
No.
And so a couple of very scary days of watching her and being very worried and upset and thinking I was going to have a very difficult conversation with a doctor. Essentially, what happened was I thought she'd had a stroke because she was kind of like heavily leaning to one side. Like when she did get up, she would tip over to one side, and she would normally fall down pretty quickly.
Hmm.
Um, but took her in to see the vets. The vets immediately saw her. I was like, oh, this is it's called vestibular disease, and it's a disease that affects dogs with like it's almost like vertigo type of thing. It just messes with their sense of balance, and often it clears up within a week or so, which fortunately it has. And yeah, I am
Good.
deeply relieved because it was very scary. It was just such a like a 1-2 punch of you
Both of you
know
going down at the same time.
shingles, dog, and I was like, what a
Yeah.
nightmare weekend. So it was brutal. And Bet said you need a third, and I do. And then my third is that at the minute I have fairly brutal depression as well. So it's been that kind of came before these two things. So it's just been a wonderful
Yeah.
trifecta of fun.
Depression and vertigo.
Depression, vertigo, and shingles.
Shingles. Oh
Oh
my.
my. Exactly. So yeah. So, and this is and because I was, putting together my what's a crack for the week, and I was like, geez, this is depressing
Yeah.
AF, you
Yeah.
guys. So sorry
Yeah.
about like just nothing exciting happened. Also, I'm broke as shit, so I've not been able to like spend money to go anywhere either. So yeah. So hope you all enjoyed that cheery
Yeah. Yep.
segment of what's the crack.
Yep.
Do you have any
Thumbs up to
more?
that.
Thumbs up.
No, I mean, no, that's enough.
That's enough. Yeah, you've suffered enough at home. I'm
Um,
I'm trying to think if I have done anything fun in that time. I don't think so. Probably not.
yeah,
I
I'm
made a
trying to
red
think.
velvet cake, but I didn't get to
Did
eat any
you?
of it. Yeah, for my
You
sister.
didn't to eat it. Oh, how is she?
It's good. She had her birthday too. It's 2 days after yours,
You
actually.
remembered her birthday.
I know. It's unreal. Like I remember my sister's birthday.
I know.
What an asshole.
Um, I have a what's occurring.
Uh-huh.
So somebody enjoyed our arachnophobia chit
Okay.
chat. So loving the arachnophobia chat. Just before you release the episode, I rewatched Inside Llewellyn Davies, and I was
Ooh,
thinking about how the Coen brothers dropped John Goodman into some of their films, like Stadium Rock Band's drop guitar solos in a show.
hell yeah.
Love that. His presence in Llewellyn Davies and O Brother, Where Art Thou just starts those films soaring. Lebowski's different because his role is so much bigger, but the effect is the same. Also, his incredible Carl, Madman Munt, and Barton Fink. I have not seen Barton Fink in so long.
Yeah. He's
Um,
pretty
yeah, needs a
spectacular.
rewatch. Needs a rewatch.
Yeah, it's I've been the movie podcast I listen to has been doing a Coen Brothers season at the minute, and it's
Ooh,
been inspiring me to watch stuff. I've mostly been rewatching, or not rewatching, but watching ones that I haven't seen before. Like I watched Hail Caesar finally. It was okay. I wasn't crazy about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um but what I really they just did the episode on True Grit, and it's just made me really want to revisit that film because I remember loving it at the time, but just
Mhm.
never really
Was
going
it a
back to it.
remake of the original?
It was a remake. It wasn't a remake of the original movie. It was an adaptation of the book, because what
Oh,
they felt was the Coens looked at the movie, the John Wayne movie, and were like, this doesn't really resemble the book very much. What we'd like to do is do a more faithful adaptation, which is predominantly from the little girl's kind of viewpoint, and that's what they did. Have you seen it?
interesting. I have not.
It's so
So,
good. I
okay,
really think you'll love it. It's a really
okay,
fantastic movie. Yeah.
okay,
Uh,
good.
just Jeff Bridges is just such a kind of ramshackle, kind of like falling apart.
He's
uh
best in those
yeah.
roles.
Oh, he's
I
so good.
mean, I was watching Jimmy Fallon the other day, and you know, things in our country are it's
Yeah.
we're getting fun news on the daily.
Yeah.
But he was like, would it be possible to have the dude come out and give us some advice? And so they had like
Hmm.
his sweater, they had his I think, well, he called it a Caucasian, but it's a White Russian, but I don't know if it's called a White Russian anymore. I don't know. So they had those.
Interesting.
And he totally like got into character and was like giving people, like advice on chilling out. And I don't know. It was just like, uh, I love that movie and I love that character.
Apparently he called it a Caucasian in The Big Lebowski, which I don't remember. That's interesting.
Did he?
Apparently so. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's maybe just
Well,
him picking that up again, you know?
or maybe was it Jimmy Fallon or was it might have been Jimmy Kimmel of the Jimmies. One of
Yeah.
the Jimmies. Anyways, doesn't matter.
I love it. Yeah, I think like that's such an interesting one in terms of their films. Like it was kind of rejected at the time, but has become so
Oh yeah.
seismic in terms of its impact over the years. Like people just know that movie now. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's I rewatch it like probably every couple years and
yeah.
I'm always just like when the Coen brothers hit it right, they hit it right.
Oh, 100%.
And
Like,
it's just there's nothing out there. Especially like the dream sequence, the bowling and
yeah.
like see what position my position is in. It's so good. It's so good.
I think like when they are on form, they're the best. Some of the best in the game. Like truly,
Yeah.
like they're absolutely incredible.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely check out True Grit if you get a chance.
Are
I
they
really
actually
recommend it.
brothers?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Like the Duffer
And
Brothers?
True Grit's actually PG-13 as well, so I don't know whether the kids would enjoy it. It's not too violent, maybe. I don't know.
I
But
watched Blade 3 the other day,
oh,
so
geez, in
like
that case, they'll be
I
fine.
know. Yeah.
Wait. Blade 3?
I know.
Why? Oh, okay. That's the worst. I mean, I suppose it's the only appropriate age-wise
I
one, but like, oh,
It's
the
because
worst
no,
Blade.
they went through the whole
Hell
thing.
yeah.
What is it, Blade Trinity or whatever?
Blade Trinity is the
Because
third one, yeah.
Charles is obsessed with Ryan Reynolds.
I see. Okay.
Even though the world is not right now,
Sure.
his children still love him. So he
Okay,
was
fair
like,
enough.
Deadpool. So anyways, yeah. Um, do you want to dig in? Or
Yeah,
do you
let's
have
do it.
anything? Okay.
No. I don't have any what's current. Yes. So,
Let's talk about
shall
werewolves,
let's
buddy.
talk about werewolves. It's appropriate. I believe this is our gonna be our Halloween episode when it
I think it
releases.
is. Yes.
So,
Yes. Happy
nothing.
Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you're listening to this on the day itself, as is appropriate. As we talk about American Werewolf in London, you know, the perfect movie for Halloween, bridging the gap between America and the UK, with some
Yes.
ul good old ultra violence.
Yes. The ultraviolence.
The good old, a little bit of the old ultra violence.
Is
Um,
that from A Clockwork
it
Orange?
is. It is
Okay.
indeed.
Caught
Uh,
it.
yeah.
You, yeah, caught that ball.
You did indeed. I
Um,
wonder if that's the exact quote. So yeah, okay. So yes, American Werewolf from London as our movie test of time.
mhm.
Um, and we thought it would be a good sort of like companion piece to the thing that we did last week. Is I think
Yes.
because um certainly special effects wise, there's a lot of common DNA there.
Yes. Um, and also, I don't know, again, well, yeah. So, quick synopsis. Two American college students are walking on a walking tour of Britain and are attacked by a werewolf. One is killed, the other is mauled. That matters. The
Mhm.
werewolf is killed but reverts to its human form, and the local townspeople are unwilling to acknowledge its existence. The surviving student begins to have nightmares of hunting on 4 feet at first, but then finds that his friend and other recent victims appear to him demanding that he commit suicide to release them from their curse, being trapped between two worlds because of their unnatural deaths.
Uh,
Ish.
yeah, it's great. That's yeah,
Okay.
it's it's so interesting. Like it's been a long time since I've seen this film,
Same.
and I thought, first thing up top was that it is billed as a comedy horror or horror comedy,
Yeah.
and I'm just kind
Yeah.
of like, I, it's such a difficult one. I think there's humor in it, but I don't think I would describe it as a comedy. I think it maybe speaks to it's of the era where they really were like it needs to slot into
This
something.
mold. Yeah.
Yes. So like, even if it's split into two of them, it must, because like I feel it doesn't. I don't know. It just sets me up for something that I don't think it quite is as a horror comedy, It's just more of like a horror with comedic elements, I guess.
Yeah. I felt like there was only one real comedic element,
Hmm.
and that was well, one of the characters which we can get into.
Okay.
Um so um do you want to talk about the
Oh,
director?
yep, yep, yep.
Because this is
So
interesting.
this is
Because I watched the
interesting.
preview and I was like, they did that, he did that and
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
So like John Landis was the director, and John Landis famous for like some of the biggest comedies, certainly
Yeah.
of the mostly the 80s, I would say, but some in the 70s, Animal House from the 70s, but also things like Blues Brothers and Trading Places were both in the 80s.
Oh, I
Uh,
love Trading Places.
yeah, I love Trading Places too, and Coming to America and things like that. Um, so an interesting director, I think that so it's an interesting one because I wasn't sure whether to talk about you. Do you know the controversy with
No.
John Landis?
No.
Oh, okay. So I'll let me get
Ooh.
into it a little bit. So
Okay.
essentially, he filmed part of the Twilight Zone movie in '83, which would have been after this. And in his section of the movie, due to like a special effects issue, there was a helicopter crash in which three people died, including two children. Yes. And this ended up in a court case that lasted the guts of a decade and completely changed how, it really shone a light on unsafe movie practices and things like that, and changed the industry in some massive ways. And his like, he probably like his career still was important in the 80s, but it kind of like petered out as a result of this did him a lot of damage, as in terms of like because I think beyond late 80s he did stuff, but it was compared to his like incredible 80s output, it really he
Mhm.
really went downhill as a result. But yeah, it damaged a lot of careers. Apparently he had a friendship with Steven Spielberg that completely dissolved as a result, and so on. So yeah,
Wow.
so yeah,
That's so unfortunate.
it
It's
is.
just like it's so unfortunate that things like that happen and you know, it's just like then you realize I don't know.
Yeah,
That's sad. That's just sad.
so yeah,
And
it
it's
really
like
is sad.
we're all so connected and it's like when things like that happen, the reverberations are clearly loud and,
Massive,
yeah.
but again, he definitely was an extremely important director, absolutely. Like, and I say, even if your only movie was Animal House, for example, Animal House was seismic. I don't think it was as seismic over here, but I even like we were aware of it.
Oh yeah.
But I think as a like college movie, it was.
Yeah. I went to college there. Did I
Oh,
tell you that?
really?
Yes. Yeah, they
Amazing.
tore down the animal house, but the sorority is still there. Like, th it's the University of Oregon.
I
So, like, the
see.
first scene, I was like, oh, there's Carson Hall. Like, there's
Incredible.
Commons. Yep. So that's little claim to fame. Or I
I
don't know. I feel like Ireland, Northern Ireland, like movies come through there and they come through Oregon too. I don't know.
It's true. I think for a long time they were. It has like kicked off here a little bit again, but like I feel post Brexit, it's not quite what it was.
Yeah.
But like certainly Game of Thrones filmed a lot here and things like that. But like literally, film companies go wherever is cheapest. Essentially, they don't really give a
They
shit.
do.
They've got no particular
No,
loyalty to a place.
no.
Wherever gives them the best tax breaks, that's where they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So, um, what else was it? Yeah, I mean, like I so love Blues Brothers as well. I
Mhm.
really do. I have
Mhm.
such an affection for that movie too, and I also have it. Yeah, like Come to America as well was a big one for me, which I found absolutely
Same. I've
hilarious.
seen that probably more than the other ones. I watched that.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Eddie Murphy.
just so good,
I
absolutely
know. I
fantastic.
know.
Did you see the sequel?
No.
No,
Probably.
it was only like in the past couple of years. It was like you know Eddie Murphy's been doing their comeback tour with like Coming to America and um Axel F, the a New Beverly
Yes.
Hills and things like that. I'm
Okay.
like I don't know that I need to see these movies necessarily.
Okay, so John Landis also wrote the screenplay.
Uh-huh.
And this is intro because I was like, okay, well, I just made assumptions, that like he took it from like an old comic book or something. So he actually wrote, it was a book or screenplay. It's kind of hard to tell, but he came up with the story while he was working in Yugoslavia as a production assistant on the film Kelly's Heroes in 1970, which I'd never heard of.
Hmm.
According to Landis, he and a Yugoslav member of the crew were driving in the back of a car on location when they came across a group of Romani people. The Romani people appeared to be performing rituals on a man being buried so he would not rise from the grave.
Ooh.
The body was being buried in a massively deep grave, feet first, right?
Hmm.
So like I'm
So
assuming like up and down,
yeah,
vertical
it's
instead
feet
of
for
horizontal. So
yeah.
that's got to be like really deep. With wrapped in garlic so that he would not rise from the dead. Um,
Wild.
I know, right? So with folk magic, which you know me and folk magic, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so he wrote it and then like shelved it for a decade. So he wrote it in like 1969 and then it just sat on a shelf gathering dust. Um, and then he would get it out, but people were like, no, it's too frightening. It's too funny, not, too humorous to be a horror film.
Hmm.
Um, so then he did Animal House and he did Blues Brothers, and then he had a bit of cred. And so they were like, all right, let's make this. So, and like,
Uh,
yeah, he took some of it from The Wolfman, which came out in 1941, which I've seen, and that was with Lon Chaney Jr. Um, but this, yeah, really like the impetus was watching these people bury a dead body for
That's
views.
great. I mean, like
I know.
my first thing was like, what a waste of garlic. What a shame.
Oh, you're like, oh, I
Oh,
know. It's
oh,
true. It's
oh,
true.
delicious garlic going to waste.
It's so
Um,
good, isn't it? Mm.
it is. And so I know I love it. I kind of really do love where kind of that inspiration comes from. I think it's such a, it's so culturally interesting in terms of the idea of it being an American over here. Like it's sort of
Yes.
like I suppose it's a lot of the themes are maybe around that idea of, fish out of water sort of thing, but as movies are wont to do, like really kind of blowing that up into its most extreme version.
Hmm.
Um, I thought it was really kind of the first thing I thought whenever I saw them was that this is the start of their 3-month trip, and they've just went in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
As on their first day, I'm like,
So
guys,
it's supposed to be like the Highlands of England,
I
right?
that's a good
I
question.
think it was. I think it was actually filmed in Wales, that
Yeah,
portion.
that looks quite Welsh to me. Yeah, but they were the way the people in the pub were talking, it was like they were
Mhm.
English, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they probably filmed it in Wales because it was cheaper.
Yeah, probably.
Um, what was the name of the restaurant, the bar?
The slaughtered
Slaughtered
lamb, I
Lamb?
believe. Yeah.
Slaughtered Lamb. I love that.
It was such an evocative picture.
I
So
know.
like in whenever they first go into that bar, so it's essentially they're backpacking, they go into a bar
They're hungry, they're tired, yeah.
and
And
like
it's like,
the bar just everybody stops and just stares at them.
yes.
And which is such a great bit. I really kind of miss that as a bit. It's just this them silently staring at these guys. And there's like a pentagram on the wall, and there's all these kind of locals there, and they're telling jokes, and they're kind of like they're being kind of quasi hostile to these guys.
Yeah. They're like,
Um,
can we have food? She's like, we don't have any food.
yeah, and so what's interesting? So there's two like fairly. I don't know whether you know or will even know who these people are, but the two people that were playing chess, one of them's Rick Meal, who's Drop
I
Dead Fred.
recognize both.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he doesn't say anything, and he's quite a famous like figure in the UK, I would say, because he's been in like a ton of comedies and stuff.
Hmm.
And the other one's Brian Glover, who's also quite a famous sort of UK actor. He's the one who talks a lot more and like tells the story, tells the joke and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, they, I guess, they don't cause a scene, but they create a situation where
It's
uh,
weird.
it is weird. They create a
It's weird.
situation. They create a situation where a guy misses his dart throw and then they like kick them out. They and then they just like with the knowledge that there's a werewolf on the
Yeah.
hunt that night.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
Uh
the people in the bar are aware that this is like werewolf territory. The pentagram is apparently like keeping them safe. And I don't know. I guess I don't know if this is my first complaint or my first like, wow, things are different there. But like, do they hate outsiders that much that they'll be like, get out, you made me miss my dirt throw, and you're probably gonna get eaten by werewolves.
yeah,
Like, right?
that seems like a lot. Like I mean that seems like a real
And then there's one person that's like, we should go get those boys, right? Like,
yeah.
they're gonna die. And I'm just like, why the fuck would you send them out? Like, they're drinking tea and like being annoying Americans. But maybe
Uh
that's what like I have traveled with annoying Americans and maybe they deserve that, you know? Maybe I'm
yeah.
one. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean like they were not so bad. It was just a very much a, we're local around here, we really like
Yeah.
local people sort of shit. It really was the worst kind of version of that.
Do you get that? Have
What
you been that person?
do whenever I walk into a bar, go silent? 100%. It's like, oh God, who's this
No, but
cuck?
like, are you in the bar and some rando walks in and like, are you one of the people that like does the whole like
Oh no,
everyone turns
fuck
and looks?
no, good.
Okay.
No, no, no. I don't think I've ever experienced that. Like, and I mean, I think certainly bars in this country, in my experience,
Mm.
they're fairly welcoming. I It depends. I would say if you were to go into certain areas, um, that might happen, but I think by and large they're relatively friendly. So it's like, yeah, come on
Yeah.
in, Um, so yeah, I suppose it's tied in this movie necessarily to um whatever the situation is in this town with
Yeah.
werewolves and whatnot.
Yes. Right. Right. That's true. That's true. Very
Um,
situational. So
much fun though.
I know, so much fun. So it's David and his um backpacking friend whose name is escaping me right now,
Hold on a
Jack.
second, Jack.
Jack.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
David and Jack, they're backpacking.
Hmm.
They go to this slaughtered lamb. They get tea. I was like, who orders tea
It's
when
true.
you're hiking? That
I
was
guess
another
I guess it
complaint.
was their only option. Like they did ask for coffee first and some
I'm
soup.
like, you get beer. She was like, we have beer and spirits. I was like, well,
Yeah.
then, like, you're in your 20s or whatever,
I
backpacking, and you ordered high tea. I can't.
That is true. That is quite funny. Like quite a funny choice. I do like that she brings them out like a really kind of fancy china
Yes,
set for their
yes,
tea and stuff as
yes,
well. Um,
yes.
but yeah, they have a faux pas
Hmm.
and they end up leaving and they do exactly the thing that they're
And
told not to do.
yeah, whatever you do, stay on the road.
Yep.
Don't go in the moors.
They go to the moors, they get attacked,
Okay,
and
tell me what a moor is, because we have plains here. We don't have moors.
I think right because I don't know that we have any moors
Moors.
in Northern Ireland to speak of. I mean, I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
they are like tend to be flat pieces of land that can be swampy, but also can because of like the unique sort of, maybe not unique, but the nature of the landscape, they tend to get quite foggy because like
Just kind of
water
sits in
gets
there.
captured in there into this kind of low kind of flat land. So, I think the other sort of famous, I mean, they even reference it in the movie, like The Hound of the Baskervilles is, a good
That's a
example of something that happens in the Moors.
Sherlock.
Sherlock.
That was a Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. I remember watching that. I didn't read it, but I watched it. And that was terrifying with like the footprints everywhere.
Yeah, 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 that's a good one.
Scary.
Um,
Do
so
you
yeah,
believe
so
in
basically,
werewolves?
huh?
Do you believe in werewolves?
Um, no, I mean, I like the idea of these things, and I'm not like, I fully know that I know very, very little about the true nature of reality.
Yeah.
So like, who knows? But like, I think it's unlikely, you know?
Wouldn't you think if you buried a body like vertically that it would be easier for them to rise from the dead?
That's true. And they could just kind of climb
Logistically?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if they're like, gonna become a werewolf, they're gonna be strong as shit. So
Yeah. They don't even
yeah,
need to climb. They're just like gonna
yeah,
flex and like pop on out.
it's true. So bury them upside
Anyways.
down if you're gonna do it vertically.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Make them a bit, make them work for it. You know what I mean? If
But
they're
it's
gonna
just
murder loads of people.
interesting, right? But like there are, at least back in the 60s or whatever, when he was working on this, that's not that long ago. These people are like believing that this is a way to keep someone from rising from the
Yeah.
dead and like going and hurting. So I don't know.
I mean, I like, it's like all the stuff. I don't know what the origins of the werewolf myth are, but like, there's certainly, there's a lot of I know a little bit more about like where vampires and stuff came from and the idea of
Yes.
vampires. Um, but I think it's all that, you know, it's I think a lot of myths come from that idea of people trying to understand reality and not being too sure what's going on, how
Yeah.
to explain certain things, like there's the idea of like changelings, which I think probably are connected to um werewolves, where it's like basically fairies will come along, take your child away and replace it with something else, you know what I mean? And this
I've
idea,
never,
oh, changelings are, yeah, there it's,
yeah.
yeah. But like it's interesting because they think that's a thing that was probably to do with like autistic children. Do you know what I mean? Because basically what they would say was they would have a
Uh-huh.
child and then they would like what would happen was the fairies would come along, leave a changeling there, take the child away, take it to, the fairy realm. And so it's children who like struggle to communicate or were silent or were non-responsive to things, and because that wasn't normal, quote unquote, it would be like, oh, it's clearly a fairy creature, you know.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So like I
Huh.
think, something something in those, something that's tough for people to explain, like an overly hairy human, like somebody
Yeah.
who's got like a condition where they
Yeah.
grow too much hair and it's like, oh, they must be a
Yeah.
half man, half dog sort of thing.
Right.
Um
Jojo the dog-faced boy.
exactly, he what isn't he a werewolf for sure? So yeah, it's interesting though, it really is. But so after they get attacked, one of them gets killed, kind of,
Yes.
and the other one gets mauled, but
That
he is,
matters.
it does matter,
So,
and gets
yes.
taken to London, and hence the title of the movie. And he starts recuperating in London, essentially with the aid of a nurse and a doctor who takes an interest in his situation, I guess.
Mhm. So, and then yeah, so he- the Jack character is dies, and this is kind of the comedy element of it,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed his character a lot. So he basically like shows up and is like in various forms of
Oh,
decomposition.
and the makeup is just spectacular.
It's so good. And he's funny and he's like, he gets less funny as it no, he's funny pretty much the
He's
whole
he's pretty
time.
funny throughout. He
He's pretty
is, he
funny.
is.
Um, but so he's like, yeah, if you're basically like the last line of because they okay. In werewolf lore, according to this movie, the last werewolf in this like lineage you have to kill. Otherwise, all of the people that this werewolf lineage has killed, they
Uh,
don't ever get to go to heaven or hell or
yeah,
whatever.
they
They're
get
just
caught in
kind
like
of
limbo or something. Yeah.
werewolf limbo and they're
Hmm.
just kind of like hanging out, rotting, and
Yeah.
only the werewolf can see them. So we got a little bit of that, which was interesting. And Jack is like, you've got to kill yourself because you're gonna turn into a werewolf. Like
Hmm.
that's what needs to happen.
I
Um,
I should also
yes.
say just before so he's also having these like in like his first set of dreams are fucked up, but then he has some really fucked up dreams where he has like these dreams of him running through a forest and him like attacking deers and stuff as a human. And then he has like dreams where he's like at home with his family. They open the door and there's like these Nazi demons that just like kill his entire family in front of him.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
bonkers.
Yes. And then we get to see the actual change happen.
Yeah.
And so this is, if anyone, I'm sure many of you have heard of this movie and have probably, even if you haven't seen the movie, you've seen this scene where he morphs from a human into a werewolf. So I want to talk a little bit about Rick Baker, who is the special effects
Yeah.
person. So he he won an Oscar for the work that the makeup art art that he did in this. I think they actually it might be in my notes somewhere. I think that this was like the first year that they had created that category of makeup art for the Oscars, and he won it.
Cool. As well he
And
should.
yeah, and yeah, I think that was like his first of many. So um, he wanted the so like Landis is very specific about how he wanted it to look. He wanted it to be as like realistic as possible. So Rick Baker was like, "All right, I got to go like science now." So he literally like took not took physically, but like took the human body and the wolf body, compared vertebra, skeletons, and he didn't have a wolf skeleton and he's like, I didn't have a wolf skeleton in my collection. Like what other things do you have in your
Yeah,
collection?
that's
But I had a dog, so that was close enough. Comparing it to a human, you find that many of the bones are similar. It's just that the proportions are different. So we made a list of the differences, what major changes were, whether this part would get shorter and that would get longer, and then figure out how we could get the suit to do this. Um, and so yeah, he's like it's quite something. You can Google it on YouTube if you don't want to see the actual
Oh,
movie and watch him morphing. And it's just like every bone is cracking, and it's like it's incredible, I
it
would
really
say.
is. I
Yeah.
I think it's such a cool scene. It really is, and and in terms of like the kind of horror or like trauma, I guess of going through something like this is conveyed so well. Like
Yes,
you know,
yes. And the scene, like he's not sure if it's actually going to happen, and he's waiting, and he's looking in the mirror, and like his nurse turns into his girlfriend, and she's like, "Come live with me, and I don't
yeah,
take strange men home ever, but
yes,
yeah, you're special because you know, uh, you think you're going to be a werewolf, so this is a safe bet."
yeah.
So she goes to work, and he's like sitting in the living room, and then all of a sudden he's just like screaming, and like it's just like it happens so fast, you're just like, "What?" And I really like that there was no lead up to it. It just
Mhm.
like, no, this is fucking happening.
Yeah.
Like the full moon is here.
I think it was quite good at that in terms of like just being like, bam, this, you know, the film generally was good at like not slow rolling you into stuff. It was just like this is on right fucking
Yes.
now. Like, even with the werewolf
Yes.
attack, all sorts of things.
Yes.
Um, oh,
So
nightmarish.
fun fact, Michael Jackson was so impressed by
Hmm.
this, most especially the makeup and the visual effects, that he insisted on hiring Rick Baker. Um, and that's who did the Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Yes, that's what I thought. It wasn't because he loved the stuff in this so much that it's
Yep.
especially Jack as the zombie in various forms,
Yes.
and you can really
And you
see
can
it.
totally see it. You
You
can
can.
totally see like I hadn't thought about that.
Um,
Huh.
So I you know I we'll talk a little bit at the end as well, but like I was like he then like basically is rampaging and it kind of builds towards I guess culmination of kind of the way the film ends, but he ends up basically rampaging around London. So
He wakes up at the zoo
he does wake up with the Zeus, which is pretty
in the
great.
wolf pen,
Yeah, and like that's
naked, with no clothes on.
and even that's there's some funny stuff there, I guess, because like he's like trying to like get clothes to
Yes.
make his way back home, you know.
And he like
Or
the kid's like, "Mommy, this naked man stole my balloons." And he's like
yes,
running with balloons over his junk and like, grabbing like a woman's jacket. And then he's like, what does he get on the tube? And everybody's like looking at him with like no shoes on, wearing just like a woman's coat.
yeah. It's good stuff. Like that is quite good. Um, so um, the when I was looking at the music and I
Mhm.
you know the transformation scene is
Yeah.
it's the music is Blue Moon. It's a cover of Blue Moon by I think it's Bobby Vinton. They use different versions of Blue Moon throughout. I think this is the opening scene or the
Yep.
opening music, the transformation scene, and the closing credits have
Yep.
three different versions of Blue Moon. Every piece of every modern song, or you know, modern certainly for the time song that they used in the film, has the word moon in it, either in lyrics or in the title itself. So like
Interesting.
Bad Moon Rising by
Yeah.
CCR, Moon Dance by oh no, why have I forgotten his name? Homegrown
I don't know.
Asshole.
Homegrown asshole.
Van Morrison. There
Oh,
we
right, that
go.
guy. Who?
Yeah. So, I so like you know, but so whenever I was looking into it, because it was kind of hard trying to find out, because there is other music going through. There's a lot of like songs in there as well, but there is some other music as well, and I found out that it was by somebody. It was by Elmer Bernstein, and me being an ignoramus, I was like, "Ooh,
Bernstein.
Bernstein,
Yeah.
wow, did the music for this?" And I'm like, "No, Andrew, you were thinking of Leonard Bernstein.
Leonard
That's not who
Bernstein.
it is. This is Elmer Bernstein,
Elmer,
right?"
his
And
stepbrother.
yeah, so and then that led me down a wormhole, and I was like, you know, are they related? And they weren't, but
Oh,
they were contemporaries. They worked at the same time. They were friends and they referred to each other as Bernstein East and Bernstein West, because they lived in different parts of the country. And Elmer, which he did tons of movie compositions, but like that's primarily where he worked, whereas Leonard Bernstein was doing his own thing.
hmm.
Um, but apparently he had put together a piece for the transformation scene that he later released as a song called Metamorphosis, I think, or something like that. And they essentially decided to go with Blue Moon instead, which I think
Hmm.
was the right choice. It's like it's such a I don't know, like a saccharine element to this awful thing.
Horrible that you're
Yeah, that you're
seeing.
watching.
Yeah.
It's a great it works brilliantly, I think.
So Griffin Dunn plays Jack.
Yeah,
The Dunn family, like have you ever heard of Dominic Dunn?
I don't think so.
Okay, anyways, I won't go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, the Dunns are related to everybody. And so Griffin Dunn, and John Landis were trying to figure out like, okay, like we want to make my character funny and dead. How do we do this?
Uh-huh.
So they were like, we want to make sure the character is always encouraging, optimistic, and as cheerful as a member of the undead, no matter what his stage of ghastly corporal decay, deterioration, and decomposition.
I love
Dunn claimed to have found this requirement to be difficult, as he was, for the first time in his life, seeing what he would look like as a rotting and mutilated corpse.
it. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting because I did recognize him, and even his name came up. I was like, I know that name.
Hmm.
Whereas the main guy, whose name I have here somewhere, David Naughton, like
Hmm.
I never really saw him in much else after this,
No, I
really.
thought the same thing.
And apparently, like he did have a career, he just never kind of hit the heights
This
of this
movie.
movie. And I think it's a shame because I think he's like pretty good in this, and like he really sells the transformation stuff well. He sells
Hmm.
the sort of like, enthusiastic American and, outside of his, comfort zone in a really kind of wonderful way too. So I think it's kind of a shame, but yeah, he just never had a massive career after that.
Mm-mm.
Um,
I also like, did you ever see the movie Altered States?
I have, but not for years.
So that's what I kept like that was one of the movies where my dad was like, "Don't watch this when we leave the house,"
Yeah,
right? And I'm
yeah,
in
yeah.
like middle school being like, "Oh my God. What am I watching?"
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Like so as a teenager?
And A Clockwork Orange, yeah. Because he bought like all of the best movies on VHS.
Of course.
And yeah, he was just like, whatever you do, don't, it was like, he's not going to watch it with me, but it's like, you have to see those movies at some point in your life. So
Sure.
it's like there was some commonality there, I
Yeah,
thought, between
absolutely.
the two films, not just waking up naked, like, eating a goat or whatever, but,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
uh,
That's true because, like, I suppose Altered States is also a body horror in a lot of ways as
yes,
well. Yeah,
yes. Yes. And also their use of sensory deprivation tanks, which to
yeah.
me is hell. So,
No, I like
but
them.
that's a movie we'll talk about another time. Okay,
Yeah.
so um this is funny.
Okay.
So the zoo scene, he's like he's like trying to get clothes and get out of there. So he like wakes up in this so David Naughton says, as for running naked around London and the London Zoo and the scene where I'm in the wolf cage, the only reassurance I had was that the wolves had just been fed. But the handlers still said that there would be no loud noises or fast moves. Okay, I said. And this will be just like one take. So start rolling those cameras. And we were supposed to be done by 9 a.m., but we overran. At one point, I looked up and I said, wow, why have you got all those extras over there? And they replied, they're not extras. The zoo is open.
Wild.
Can you imagine? Like, there's no way that would happen anymore. Like,
It's
it's
so
all like
true.
close sets. But yeah, they were just like, yeah, no, 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 all those people are watching you film naked.
And I like how it's just also kind of like, oh, these are just wolves at the zoo, I guess. And I mean, like,
Yeah,
no extra training for the wolves or anything like that. It was just like, it'll be fine.
no,
Don't worry about it. Don't,
yeah, yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be fine.
They've eaten.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
eaten.
yeah, 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 yeah. They're pretty friendly. You'll be fine.
Mm.
Insanity. I mean, again, unsurprising, but complete
Right,
insanity.
right.
Um, like I find it as a whole like I don't know whether it feels disjointed. I feel like there's so much to like in it, but I don't know that it held together super well for me. I don't know what you thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, some of my notes were like, um, David is gross. Both
Yes,
Jack and David are gross.
they are. I mean, how they like. I mean, and it's one of those things I even noticed at the start of the film where it's kind of like, how men in that era talk about women is just
Yep.
awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like that didn't hold up for me.
No.
Um, so yeah. And like there were parts that um, they're on the tube and there's like a bunch of like punk
Yeah.
kids. And I was like, that's like I don't know, we think of it's cool that that was like happening at that time and they were
Yeah.
able to like capture
Yeah.
that punk era and I don't know. I appreciate it. So it's just like little things about London that you get to see um,
And
Piccadilly and
and it's always nice, and because it's obviously like as time has went on, it's trickier to actually film in those places, and it's like you can
yes,
tell a lot of this was
th-
filmed in London, which
totally.
is pretty great.
What is Scotland Yard and why are they in London?
So Scotland Yard, yeah, that's an excellent question. So Scotland Yard is, I don't ask me why it's named this, but is the sort of center of police activity in London and
Okay.
has been for years. Like even again, going back, we were talking about Sherlock Holmes. They would talk about Scotland Yard in there and going
Mhm.
over to Scotland Yard too. So that's basically the sort of like hub, as I would say, of police in London and has been for a long, long time.
Okay. Um, questions, yeah,
Yeah.
that I have. Um, at one point he starts with the nightmares. They get worse and he starts to have dreams within dreams where
Hmm.
like he's in a bad dream and then he wakes up and then he's in another bad dream and then he wakes up and I'm just like, oh, so like the descent down into like I don't know, whatever wolf brain.
Yeah. With a wolf man, I
Um,
like that. Yeah.
and then can we talk about the wolf's howl?
Yeah. Sure.
Uh, it's good.
It is a
It's
good wolf
like
film.
it's a good. I was just like, I couldn't remember, but then like you hear the howl on the moors when they're running, and I was like, oh, that's fucking scary.
It
Like
is.
I would stick to the road. Don't go in the moors, you idiots, right? Yelling at the TV.
It feels
Uh,
like blood curdling in a way
uh-huh,
that, yeah,
uh-huh.
as it should do.
So do you want to know what we put in the cauldron to make that kind of sound?
Okay, I do want to know. Yeah.
So it was made of 9 different sounds, including a wolf, a lion, a panther, a locomotive, um, and yeah,
A
9 different
locomotive, did you
a
say?
locomotive. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
It's like the t Tarzan yell. So that was that was like not. I don't know. It's hard to make sound like really, really, really scary. Probably, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Um, and I thought they did a really good job.
they did. It's definitely a good scream. Or kind of like them being on the moors and hearing that, you can see how terrifying it would be.
Yes,
Yeah, no,
yes.
they really did a great job with it. But one of the other things I wanted to talk about was that I think they made good choices a lot of the time in terms of, you know, the Jaws lesson. Whenever they like were making Jaws, they wanted to do all this shit, and then the Jaws shark didn't work, didn't look great, and we're like, let's just less is more,
Yeah,
essentially. And I
yeah.
think they did a great job in the same way with this, in that a lot of the times you're seeing from the wolf's point of view or the werewolf's point of view, or you're not really seeing it very much. You're seeing it close up of its face, which looks good. The few times I think there's one really good scene where the guy's on the escalator and you see it kind of creep in in the like foreground. Um, but I think that the actual wolf model doesn't super hold up. I don't like. I love the transformation, but the actual like werewolf itself, I'm glad they don't show a lot of it. I think the face is good, but like the whole
Mhm.
body, it does look like it looks like an animatronic,
Yeah.
in a way, which is a
They
shame.
based it I don't know if I'm gonna how you pronounce it, but we call them Keeshonds.
Okay.
It's a type of dog. They're adorable. They're so fucking cute. My next door neighbor growing up had one. Um, and he was just like puffy and he would get excited and like he would jump and like turn in circles 4 times every time he would get so excited.
Okay.
So that's what they based the body off of. The face itself was pretty scary. But it was like, I guess, like watching the transformation of David and then full werewolf.
Hmm.
Like it did those didn't quite add, like they didn't align for me.
Yes.
They didn't, one didn't look like the other.
That's a really good point as well, actually. Yeah. And I think that like again, I think for the time and
Mhm. Yeah.
considering I think really incredible work, truly, truly fantastic, you know. I say and I think that even at the time probably they were aware enough that they didn't want to show too much of this because it would kind of would take you out of the movie in a way. And so I think that
Mhm.
like they you only see the full model a handful of times, and I think that's the right choice. And I think,
I
even
agree.
though, as I say, like, and what, however many years later this is, what is 35, 30, 34, 35 years later, it definitely, you can see the cracks, but it's still pretty fantastic. No, what am I saying? 45 years later? Good Lord. Um, but yeah, but still, like, again, an incredible achievement, and I think it looks
Mhm.
wonderful, and I can see why at the time it was like, if you went to see this, you'd be like, holy shit,
Yes.
what is
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Especially a
So
transformation scene.
so I was thinking like like what did I learn?
Hmm.
I guess like survivor's guilt is real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because he's got to deal with, like, he's literally got to see his best friend that died, and then all these other people that he kills as a werewolf then show up with Jack, and he's like, check out my new friends, and they're just gonna follow you around, and he's like got to bear that and deal with that. And the other thought I had was like his nurse girlfriend is next level, like, I can change him.
Yes. I can
I was
change this
like,
werewolf.
yes. Like I'll
Yeah.
break through the cop line at Piccadilly that's cornered my werewolf boyfriend, and I'll
Yeah.
talk to him, and like everything will be fine, right? I can change him. I was like,
I can
girl.
change him. He's like blood in his fangs, blood in
I
his
know, and
claws.
like
Yeah.
trying to like, yeah, running at her to murder her.
Oh,
Anyways.
that's good
Yeah,
stuff though.
so it is good stuff. Did you know
Uh-huh.
that they shot this in sequence?
Oh, really?
I love it when they shoot in
Yeah,
sequence.
that's nice.
I don't know why that matters so much to me, but like I guess like theater is so nice because you like do everything in sequence, and like
Yeah.
working on movies where you're just like, all right, this is this one scene and this happens, 20 minutes into the, it's just weird. And as an actor, it must be weird because a lot of times you hear like interviews where they're like, yeah, we filmed like the very ending first. And I'm like, how do you even get in that headspace?
I think that's it. And I think it's really useful for actors, like whenever they can just follow the character through, I
Yeah,
can see how difficult it must be just jumping around the place. Um, but that's great. And I think, it's again, I have issues with the film. I think that like it feels like it has a bit of an identity crisis. Like I think it's so interesting what you're saying about, you know, thinking about the idea of survivor's guilt and things like that. I
yeah,
think that's an interesting thing to explore, but it kind of clashes with the like comedy elements in some ways,
it totally does.
so like yeah, and I think that's why I kind of rub up against the film a little bit, but yeah. Um, you got any other thoughts, or shall we move on to our final few wee sections?
Oh my God. Okay, real fast.
Yeah,
Let's see. No, I did those. Sorry.
it's all right.
Did we get all my facts in?
We did get some good facts. You had some good ones.
Yeah, no, I think we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so I think like again, I thought that it was tough for me this week in terms of who's gonna get too legit to fit because like
Mhm.
there wasn't many good fits, but I
There's a
think
lot of nudity.
there's a lot of nudity. Yeah. Jenny Agutter as Nurse Price, I think probably had the best fits, but again,
Yeah. I
it's
would, yeah. I mean, David had the balloons,
he did have the balloons and he did have that red coat.
the
Okay, you're
red
right. It's
coat.
David. It's David. The red coat. The red coat takes it. Actually, now I think about it. Okay. Sorry, Jenny. Sorry, I'm gonna have to phone Jenny
Maybe next
Agate.
time, babe.
Jenny Agate, let her down gently. Um, and obviously, the Andy's Animal Acting Award for Excellence in Animal Acting goes to the werewolf as well.
Yes, yes. Not the wolves, but the werewolf.
The werewolf, yes, please. The wolves, no, they wish. The
They
werewolf's taking it
wish.
this. The werewolf's taking
I
it this
know.
time. So yeah. So Beth, in terms of revisit, remember, refuse, or redo, what are you thinking?
I said remember.
Yeah,
I was like, I guess they were trying to do too much.
yeah,
And it's like either, I guess, yeah, it was, I wanted it to either be funnier or scarier.
yes. And I think it does feel like it's a halfway house in both of those ways, and I feel like it
Hmm.
loses something. I think I remember feeling this about it when I first watched it as well, because like I enjoyed it, and I think there's some great stuff. I really do think there's some great stuff in there, but it just doesn't feel very cohesive to me, and I think
Hmm.
that kind of like lets it down a wee bit. And like again, it's a beautiful 90 minutes, slightly I think what like 95 minutes
Yep.
long, and I will give props to any film that gets me out of there in just over an hour and a half. But so like I had a good time with it, but I don't know that I would say people should revisit it necessarily.
Yeah. Remember. And like, they're probably going to remake it at some point anyway. So for the
Well,
kids,
no,
they can just wait a
you know that
decade.
they did an American Werewolf in Paris in the 90s?
Paris.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That wasn't a
Which I
good
have
film.
not seen.
It's not a good movie.
No, no.
A werewolf goes bungee jumping at one point off the Eiffel Tower,
Oh, oh, oh.
right?
That's not what I
Interesting.
thought you were going to say today.
Nope. So yeah. I'm sorry, spoilers for
Yeah, right.
American Werewolf in Paris, everybody. I'm sure you've all been can't wait to see that movie. So yeah, like I say, it's don't no regrets in revisiting it,
No,
but
that
yeah,
was a good one.
you can just consign that to your memory, I think.
It's,
Okay.
yeah, I guess like also the very end, it's like it's kind of like the 70s, like 80s kind of feels a little like gross because the
Yes.
standoff takes place in like a
Yeah,
uh
that's true.
porn movie theater, and it's just kind of like all this is happening and there's people like, you know, having sex in the background, and you're just kind of like this is a lot all at
I,
once.
I, that is true. Actually, yeah, it really doesn't shy away from that. It's a deeply weird movie in
It's
that
yeah,
way. Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
really
yeah.
is.
They make choices where I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
The other thing I should say, like I completely forgot to mention this, was that I just it just the ending is just a cut to black
Yeah,
immediately. Like
yeah,
basically, the werewolf gets killed,
yes,
boom, done. And I
done.
was like, whoa. And I do like that.
Yeah,
I do really appreciate
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but
I don't want to know how she feels
no, not
about
at all. No,
her.
God forbid, no.
I can change him. Oh, oh, he tried to murder me. Oh, how do we get past this doctor? One quick, what,
Yeah.
sorry, one more. So the doctor in London had a buddy
Hmm.
who looks like nondescript, science doctor guy. It
Yeah.
was Frank. It was Frank fucking Oz.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How interesting.
yeah. He
Oh,
plays Mr. Collins.
okay. That makes sense. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I was
Yes, I
just
know what you're
like,
talking
it's
about
just
now.
so fun when like little things pop up like
That's
that. I was
why.
like, that's Frank Oz.
And that's
I
why
was like,
that's
oh,
the way
that
there's
Frank Oz.
maybe that's why there's a clip of the Muppets in there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Cool. Love it. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay then, Beth. So, we've both had
Hmm.
taxing couple of weeks.
Hmm.
So what has been bringing you joy, if anything, over the past week or so?
I mean, it's political, but the Portland Frog.
Oh yeah.
So, in the United States right now, the National Guard is being deployed,
Yep.
and this is taking place like right by my old office. Um, so Portland is doing what it does, keeping it weird. That's Portland.
Yep.
I'm like, yay, Portland. So some guy dressed up. It started with, so this is outside the ice buildings, people are protesting. I
Hmm.
think someone showed up in like a chicken costume and that just was the one guy. And then this other guy showed up in this adorable frog, inflatable frog outfit,
Uh-huh.
and like was doing all this like weird stuff with his hands, and Ice was like backing up, and now it's become a whole thing. So we had a huge No Kings protest
Yeah.
in the United States over the weekend. And just seeing like knowing that like there were actually, I saw there was a No King protest in Dublin, and people were wearing the frog
Oh,
outfit.
nice.
So it's just I'm just happy that like the resistance is adorable.
Yeah, truly. Truly, truly.
Yeah,
No, it was great to see it. Really, it really was. And the numbers of people were great to see as well.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So how about
so
you?
just because of in light of recent events, I'm
Mhm.
gonna say Sasha, my dog, and just pets generally,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I just a reminder, everybody, hug your pets, give them a squeeze, give them a kiss. They all
Yeah,
deserve it. They're all little sweeties. Well, I
they
mean,
are.
most of them are. Most of them are little sweeties and deserve all the love and cuddles and snacks that they could possibly ask for. So
Agreed.
yeah,
I'm
so yeah,
glad she's doing better.
yes, me too. But yeah, all right. So Beth, could you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us at bendypodcast.com.
Voice. All right. In that case, folks, as always, we'd like to remind you to stay
Stay
bendy.
bendy.
I'm still recovering from an illness, which is why mine was so bad there,
I'm
everybody.
like just getting my voice
Oh,
back. Sorry, everyone. Like this is all
bye.
right. Camille, faint on the couch.
Bye. We love you.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Love you. Bye.